Okay, handmade. Boop.
I feel weird. My hair's parted on the other side.
I wasn't planning on exposing my arms. My hair's parted on the other side. I hate making paper flowers. This video is gonna be great. Hey guys, welcome back to Handmade with me, Marianne. So here is a little known fact about me. I kind of hate making paper flowers, and yet I am weirdly good at it. And so I've ended up with like at least 5 videos where I'm making paper flowers. So you know, sometimes you just have to give in to what the universe is telling you. So today I'm gonna show you how to make paper flowers that look incredible, look super hard, look expensive. They're all made from party streamers. Party streamers, scissors, a little bit of time. Let's get started. Okay, we are gonna start things off with a beginner level paper flower. This one is for all of you out there who think there's no way I can make something that looks like that. We're gonna get to that in a minute. The beginner level flower requires just a few things. I can't put them in the vase. Every time I miss. Okay. So to make this beginner level paper flower, we just need a few things. Some glue dots. I really love glue dots because you don't have to wait for anything to dry. A floral stem, scissors, and streamers. Now you can find these crepe paper streamers, honestly, a million different places. You can obviously buy them online, craft stores, party stores, even grocery stores. Just pick the color you like. So for this super simple flower, we're going to need about 3 feet of paper streamer, and it's not an exact science. Don't worry about getting out the measuring stick. Okay, and so the only technique on this before you wrap it is to slightly stretch one edge. You want to do this really gently because obviously crepe paper is very delicate, it's very thin, it will tear easily. But what this does is it will make a really pretty kind of ripple effect when we start to wrap it around the paper stem. So we're just going to do one side so it kind of flutes out. You can kind of see it doing its thing. So you can see I've kind of smoothed that edge and it just makes a nice little ruffle. It's just going to make the flower open up in a really pretty way. So set that aside. Now we're going to grab our floral stem. Again, these floral stems, super easy to find. I like the ones that are wrapped in, kind of looks like thread, but they're covered. They're not just bare wire. I just think it looks a little bit nicer in the vase. Grab your glue dots, and we're just going to, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches down, we're going to wrap a couple of glue dots around the stem. And this is just going to form an anchor for the base of our flower. Now, could you use regular glue or hot glue for this? Of course. Regular glue I didn't want to use because I just thought it would get kind of messy when you're trying to manipulate the paper around the stem. And hot glue I didn't want to use, frankly, because I didn't want to heat up the hot glue gun. But you could certainly use that here. All right, now that we have our glue dots in place, we are going to start making the flower. Now, it may take you a couple of tries to get this technique right, but once you learn this basic pleating and wrapping technique, it actually applies to all 3 of our flowers. So just fiddle with it. Great thing is you've got a whole roll of crepe paper for like $1, and you could probably make 30 flowers from one roll. So with the side that has not been smoothed out, start by wrapping that around your glue dot. And now, this is the real trick on how to make these. Start folding it and turning it. So we're going to pleat it about, about 1/2 inch and turn. So fold and turn, fold and turn. And you can already see the edge of that flower is starting to kind of take shape. And that is it until we get to the end. You just fold and turn it around itself, really keeping this part pinched between your fingers firmly, because if you lose hold of that, your whole flower is going to unravel. This is the part that some people struggle with. Some people on my team, named Danielle. Oh, she's going to be so mad. So as you're doing this, the natural tendency is to kind of go down the stem, and just every once in a while you really do want to kind of push it up Keep everything really nice and compact so you can really see that flower taking shape. It's so pretty. You can see I was not lying when I said these come together really quickly, these simple ones. And I will say there are some paper flower tutorials out there on the internet that are very complicated and time consuming. And this one is so pretty and took me like 2 minutes. Okay, once you get to the end, you just want to grab some paper tape. I like this wider paper tape, but washi tape would also be fine. And I went ahead and cut myself a couple of squares of tape with one corner cut off. And that's so we can make a nice and tidy little cone of tape at the top to finish our flower. So I do 2 because the first one always looks kind of messy, so then you can go and cover it up with the second one. So just tightly wrap that paper that you've been holding firmly this whole time without letting it unravel, because that would be so sad. And just wrap that around. This one's really just to secure the paper. And now your second one can be to like actually make it look pretty. All right, so there you go. See, that literally took like 2 minutes. It's so pretty, kind of looks like a rose. So this is our simple flower. Are you ready to level up to the next one? Well, I mean, if you're still watching the video, I'm gonna assume that's a yes. I can yodel. High on a hill was a lonely goat herd, lay, odelay, odelay, Number 1 most played song on Spotify for me. Okay, we have mastered our easy flower, so now we are going to move up to our medium difficulty flower. This one, I'm just going to show you, kind of looks like a carnation. It's so pretty. Looks hard, right? Not hard. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and prep my tape to finish it. I recommend you do that ahead of time, just so you're not trying to manage, holding the flower one-handed and cutting your little tape squares. Boop. So for this one, you want slightly more crepe paper because we're going to fold it up and you want your flower to be really full and pretty. So I would say roughly, I don't know, 4 feet maybe, 4 feet. Let's say 4 feet. And now we are going to accordion fold this in about 3-inch sections. The great thing about all of these is it's not an exact science. So you don't have to, meticulously measure and make sure everything is folded exactly. As long as you get the general technique down, you can make these super easily. You kind of want to smooth it down on the edges. Just more than anything, that helps keep your stack really tidy. So when we make our cuts, they'll be super even. And I have to admit, this was the flower that made me go from, I don't like making paper flowers, to, I kind of want to make paper flowers all day. Okay, I did not plan that, but look at that. I ended exactly on the edge. But if you don't, you can just trim off the excess. So now we're going to grab our pinking shears, which are these. Do you know what pinking shears are? They are these scissors mostly used for sewing to cut an edge that prevents fraying. They have this zigzag blade. But for this flower, they're going to give us that kind of ruffly texture. So grab your pinking shears, and I will say it does pay off to have a nice, sturdy, sharp pair. There are some really cheap pinking shears out there that I tried for this, and they didn't cut a very neat line. And we're just going to trim the very top off of one side of our paper. And just, line up those little teeth if you need to extend down to the end. And now just grab some regular scissors. And now we're going to cut some small notches all the way across the paper, going down about 2/3 of the way. And again, not an exact science. These don't have to be perfectly measured. So when you open it up, it looks like that. So cute. It's like a little, like a little banner, a little grass skirt. All right, so go ahead and get that opened up so that nothing gets tangled when you start wrapping it around the floral stem. There we go. And now the process is the same as the first flower. So wrap a couple of glue dots around the top. And we want the cut petals obviously to be on the outside of the flower. So take the uncut part at the base, and we're just going to pleat and turn. And really keeping a good grip on the center there so your flower doesn't unravel, because it's a real bummer to get to the end of one of these and have the whole thing fall apart. I've witnessed it. It's not pretty. So just like our other flower, every once in a while you just kind of want to gently push it upward so that you get a really nice full flower. Tight like a tiger. Okay. I'd say the only downside to making is your fingers will get kind of tired. So we finished this one just like the first one with some paper tape. The first one just kind of keeping everything secure, and then the second one making it look neat and tidy. I think that looks really nice and neat. So there you go. Not too bad, right guys? Well, we've one more and it is a little harder. However, if you master this flower, you can master the next one. Okay guys, it's time for our third flower, which yes, is technically the most difficult, but it uses the same technique that we did for the other two. You just use a slightly more complicated cutting technique at the beginning. It's so pretty though, right? It's like a little spider mum. Let's get to it. Okay, so the initial process for this is just like our carnation flower. You're going to take about 4 feet of our crepe paper, I mean, really eyeballing this, and do an accordion fold, again, about, 3 inches or so. Okay, so this is the trickiest part, and this is what makes this one technically the hardest. We're going to cut very, very thin little slits in our paper, but every other slit we're going to take off a corner so that it makes a point. That's really hard to explain, so let me try and show you. So snip off a tiny bit that corner and then straight down on your next cut. And you can see that makes it pointed, and it's going to give it that really fluffy texture at the end. Now yes, you could try to go all the way down and make these into points, but I found you lose too much crepe paper. So this really gives you the fullness while maintaining that delicate point at the end. So we're just cutting a little wedge off. You can see these little wedge pieces that are coming off, and then straight down. And these are pretty darn skinny. I mean, less than 1/8 of an inch. So this is the one that I really recommend you just be patient, take your time, fiddle with the technique, make a couple. I mean, you've got a $1 roll of crepe paper, you can afford to make some mistakes. So as you get towards the end, the edges are going to kind of want to splay out, and just do your best to try to keep that edge nice and tidy and everything lined up. And when you open this guy up, oh, now this really does look like some grass skirt action. It's actually very cute. Be a cute little banner on a cake or something. But stay focused, we're making flowers. Just like our other two, we're gonna start this off couple of glue dots at the top to secure. All right, now surely by the third flower, I don't have to tell you again that it's the same folding and turning process as the other two flowers. Okay, and now we're just gonna finish that one just like the other two. Would you look how cute that is? These are my favorite. You could make a cluster of them and put them in your hair, or make a little flower crown out of them. Oh, I just love them. Well guys, what do you think? Because I have to say, even though I like to complain about making paper flowers, I love these. They're really fun, they're kind of addictive to make. And you know what? In the depths of winter, what is more cheerful than a whole vase of paper flowers that are never gonna wilt and turn sad? Why don't you let me know in the comments down below which one of these was your favorite? Hit me up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna go find a different vase for these.